Peace and blessings be upon you. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
This is the Underground Railroad television show. We come on every Saturday night at 10:30, but we come on YouTube. So let's call us. Underground Railroad TV show. And I have the producer of the great, phenomenal television show in the mind of Minister Ben Willis. Assalamu alaikum, brother. And thank you, brother, for accepting the invitation.
Wa alaikum salam, my brother. First, Brother Cliff, I want to give you credit.
Praises due
I want to give you credit. But let me tell you something that happened to me a few days ago. There was a young man that called me, and he called me and he said that I helped him change his life. And I didn't know I didn't even know who the guy was. I didn't know who the young man was. And he talked to me, he said that he was at North Lawndale High School. So I mentored over at North Lawndale High School. I've been doing that for like 4 years. And so, and then I remembered him, but he said he was looking at Channel 19, and he saw the TV show on there, and he saw me on there, and then he got the telephone number and he called me. And it was one of the greatest compliments I've ever received from, saying that I helped him change his life and help him, his outlook on life and a lot of things he was doing.
I know you gave it right back to Allah. I already know.
Well, the thing is everything is done with God's permission. So the thing is that he turned to Channel 19 and he saw it. And so I want to thank you for allowing me and giving me some pointers on having my own show. Now I followed the Underground Railroad for many years. Your Underground Railroad, Boise Edwards and Dr. Kofi Malik and the Harold Davises of the world, Grady's Notebook, Elma and Company. So I supported those shows. Dr. Lee Warren. I supported those shows.
Just left out of here.
And continue to support those shows. And so, the thing is that all of us got different platforms, but to do the same thing is to enlighten the people and to help the people as best as we could. So the thing is, I want to thank you again for inviting me on the show, but also, give me some of the insight on having my own platform, and I want to thank you for that, and thank you for inviting me today.
I'm going to tell the crowd, to people that's listening, whatever good comes from me comes from Allah, and whatever bad comes from me comes from myself, because I disobeyed. I didn't do what Allah wanted me to do. I did what I wanted to do. Thank you, and I graciously say thank you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Brother, I would like to ask you, first of all, Flaming Crescents, you want to say something about them, about your show?
Well, okay, the name of my show is In the Mind of Minister Ben Willis. You can go on YouTube and just put in Minister Ben Willis, and you'll see my TV shows, some lectures, you'll see my podcasts. They're on there. I'm also a national representative of an organization called the Flaming Crescent Society, and I'm a mentor at North Lawndale High School here in Chicago, on Chicago's west side. So that's something that I've been doing and been very passionate about, educating our people. And I heard you mention when you say Allah, I want the public to know that Allah is just a word for God. It's nothing, no sun god, no spook god, no moon god. It's nothing like that. It's just the name of God. That's all. The same God that created the heavens and the earth and all of us. That's what that means.
And you know what? I will ask you. I know your telephone number's out there. How can people call you and get in contact with you? Your telephone number's out there.
Yeah. You can reach me at area code 872-731-9681, and you can also reach me by email at willisministerben@gmail.com.
Okay.
You can get in contact with me, and if there's any problems or anything like that, I'm just a servant.
And you know what, Minister Ben, what I'd like to ask you is, about this coronavirus is taking a traumatic, enormous effect on the society. And do you believe that it is man-made, or do you believe that it was produced in a laboratory?
There's a thing called chemical warfare. You know, this place called Center of Disease Control. You ever heard of that?
Yes.
You know, there's a building that they're in. You know what's in that building of the Center of Disease Control?
No.
Diseases.
Where's that at? What city is that in?
They're in all the cities. One is on Ogden Avenue here in Chicago.
I didn't know that.
So, you know, so the thing is that you want to control somebody, you do it with chemicals, medicine, medication, all of that type of stuff, you know. So that's been forever. You know, that's been forever. They've been doing stuff like that. So, you know, look at the ailments what people went through back in the 60s. You had wingworms, people had polio. You understand?
In the Spanish
flu.
flu.
They had tetanus.
Yeah.
You don't have those no more. Mm-hmm. How did that happen?
So you're saying you believe that there are a group of people that are diabolical and Luciferian enough to want to decrease the surplus of the population?
Mad scientist, huh? Well, I mean, well, that's a reality. You know, I mean, look at the actions bear witness to that. You know, those types of things bear witness to that. And so, you know, when you want to talk to me about evil people, you know, I mean, there's, you know, you have good and evil. Mm-hmm. You know, so that's not shocking.
But you believe, do you believe that even though the enemy believed that it was within their power to inflict pain and desecration to people, that it was the will of Allah? Does everything happen by the will of Allah?
Well, to me, me being a believer, okay. Let me break this down, okay? Let me break this down. Because the brother keeps saying Allah, and those who are looking, mm-hmm. and those and the viewing audience that are looking, Allah means God. Mm-hmm. I am a believer in God. That's what I am. I don't question it or anything else. Mm-hmm. Everything is done with God's permission. Mm-hmm. Okay? So there you have it. That's where I'm at with that. Am I walking around scared to death? No. Only thing I'm afraid of is God's punishment. That's all I'm afraid of. Now, when I say Allah, when we say Allah, we're greeting each other and assalamu alaikum. We're talking as Muslim men, all right?
No. Mm-hmm.
Now, let me say something to you, brother, because I think the public need to be educated on Muslims, on Islam. When you hear the word Islam and you hear the word Muslim, what's the first thing that comes into America's head? I'm talking about white America and black America. What comes in their head? An Arab, mm-hmm. an Arab man with a beard, and a Arab woman with her face covered, and a terrorist. That's what they see. That's what they see. But I want to let America know, black and white America know, that there's more black Muslims in the United States than there are immigrant Muslims. Again, let me say something to you, brother. They don't even want to give you damn credit for being a damn Muslim with your black self. They don't want to give you even credit for that. Mm-hmm. You know, when Americans say, we have a problem with Islam, we're walking around every doggone day. Mm-hmm. Now I heard you getting ready to mention the Nation of Islam. Because people, now when we say the black Muslim, in fact, let me go here. Mike Wallace, who was a reporter for 60 Minutes, mm-hmm. back in the late 50s, early 60s, he did a documentary called The Hate That Hate Produced. When they told him about Muslims, he said, oh yeah, the Eastern Muslims. They said, no, you need to go over there to the International Amphitheater in Chicago and go in there and see the black Muslims. And when he got there and saw that, he said, I never seen anything and knew anything like this before. Black Muslims. What are they talking about? And who is this? And their leader was Elijah Muhammad.
Yeah.
Now, white America, as we know of today, and black America, as we know of today, know about the Nation of Islam. With their representative, Mr. Louis Farrakhan.
Yeah.
All right?
That's true.
But let me tell white America and black America, there's more black Muslims than that. See, there's a lot of black Muslims that are in the Nation of Islam. They're not in the Nation of Islam. So a lot of black Muslims that are not in the Nation of Islam. See, they're not. And you know why the people don't know about the other black Muslims? Because they don't do a damn thing. All they do is, some of them, sit around and criticize and don't produce nothing. And let me tell America this, because I'm spilling the beans, brother. I'm letting it out now, brother. Some of our black Muslim brothers and sisters, all they want to do is sit in the corner and criticize other black Muslims that are doing something. Haven't produced nothing. This one brother came to me and, Assalamu alaikum, brother. I say, brother, you talking with an Arab accent. Ain't you from 67 and Everhart? The hell are you talking about?
Yes,
You
sir.
understand what I'm talking about?
I understand what you're talking about.
These Arab Muslim brothers and sisters got these ghetto stores in our community. And then on Friday, you got the nerve to sit there and you pray next to them on your prayer rugs and everything. That's damn disgraceful. When they having sex with our young girls in there and they treat you like crap. And what if the Prophet Muhammad came back today, 1,400 years ago, and come in one of them doggone stores that our Nabi would come in there and see that mess in there? Pork chops, salt pork, 2 pounds for $3. You understand what I'm talking about? They destroying our children, destroying our young ladies, destroying our girls. In fact, when you go in that store, how come you don't see their wives? You don't see their daughters in there. Brother, it's time to stop hiding.
I want to ask you.
Ask me.
No, it's great. It's
Ask me. Ask
great,
me.
great information. And you know what I would like to know is, since this virus, do you believe that Islam is almost not being inflicted? People are embracing Islam in a different way because women are covering up with a niqab is something that they put over their face. Okay? And they didn't used to do that. They're not allowing a man to shake their hand and nobody to shake hands. Do you believe that it's a way of, it's bringing in Islam in a slight way? Are they starting to take on some of the practices that they thought was funny and they thought was disrespectful, not shaking a woman's hand, and a woman covering up that they thought was oppressive? And they're doing it themselves now.
Sure, I found it very ironic that that was happening. That
With this virus.
that they would talk about some of the Muslim women with the hijab garb and the covering of the face. And let me say this also about that. When you see the women with their face covered up and everything, that's not Islam. That's that country's culture. Now, Islam for the women is modestly dressed to cover themselves, to cover themselves.
It's a woman's choice. Yes.
Modestly dressed. Now, but when you see the culture and everything else, well, Michael Jackson had the mask too now.
Okay.
Oh, and let me say also too, a bank robber had a mask also. So, okay, so the thing is, but when you talk about how God has got people's attention,
Yeah. No party.
in a tremendous way. Also, when the pandemic happened, the country that was being destroyed fast was Italy
Yes.
and Rome, where the Vatican is. Where those good Christian bishops
And them little
gave
boys.
all the information. They let the Pope in Rome have all of that. How come the records and everything of Christianity is not in Jerusalem or in Bethlehem or in Nazareth? Why is it in Rome, who are actually enemies of Jesus Christ? That's right. Yeah, Paul. Yeah, that's right. Paul